Since I have a collar on, it reminds me of a time when I was younger. I've never been married, Mercedes. I don't have children. I was left in my 30s after I served in the army. I was left to learn how to domesticate myself. I remember I bought a dog collar when I was 29. I bought a dog collar just to remind myself to settle down, boy. Be a good boy. Sit pretty, boy. This is another thing I do. I walk into big department stores. Target's my favorite. Target. Everything in Target's expensive. If I can go up and down every aisle at Target without putting anything in a cart, then I deserve, Mercedes, I deserve a Starbucks at the very end. I go to Starbucks and I say, can I get one large black coffee? I want a tall black coffee. And the lady looks at me and she says, are you sure? I said, yes. She gives me the black coffee. I take it to the cash register. And they said, what are you doing here? You have nothing to pay for. I said, I know, but I just want you to know that I'm a good boy. Then I remembered, Mercedes. I remembered, oh no, my toaster is broken. I need to go back and retrieve another toaster. Mercedes, tell me why I'm in line with this new toaster. I've been trying to make friends, remember, this is the early 50s. I get a telegram delivered to me by Dove. A telegram delivered to me by Dove. I'm reading this telegram. My friend, he's a heterosexual man. He couldn't be out at the time, Mercedes. He said, didn't you grow up on a farm, your parents? I said, yes. He said, I kept reading. He said, do your parents have one of these? And I said, oh, I opened up a tab on a piece of paper. It was a piece of paper on top of another piece of paper. Mercedes, there were so many folds. It reminded me of what I assumed was a woman's genitalia. I flipped it open. It was a cartoon drawing of a man getting milked by a cow milking machine. Mercedes, I began to tremble. I almost orgasmed in my pants. One would call it pre-coming. Mercedes. At that time, I did not feel like a good boy. Mercedes. I immediately ran home. I searched far and wide. Stealing. I got into drugs. I got into booze. Mercedes. I stole 2 cow milking machines from local farms. I installed them in my garage. Mercedes. I became addicted to milking myself with these cow milking machines. Mercedes. I was not a good boy. And then I did not deserve to wear a collar. Now, however, I deserve to wear a dog collar. I no longer milk myself to orgasm.